What's up, D&M crew? Welcome back to our channel, you guys.
Today we are doing an updated version of our things to know before moving to Texas video. We've now lived here for a couple years. We're a little bit more invested in Texas and we just know a little bit more. These aren't going to be too serious. It's not going to be a exhausted list about what, Texas is like. It's not going to hit all areas. It's going to be highly metro specific because that is where people move to Texas. People aren't moving to the country. They are, but not really, right? Like most people, if they move to Texas, are living in the cities, Austin, Dallas, Houston, or surrounding cities like that.
Also, we just want to say these are based off of our personal experience. The great thing about life is everyone has their own experience. So these are not like factual, but these are things that we have noticed and experienced in our time living here in Texas.
Especially in Texas where it's so big, everyone's going to have a different experience. If you're in Houston, you're going to have a different experience than us, probably, since we're in Dallas, right? Or if you're in El Paso, or if you're in West Texas versus East. So yeah, this is our stuff, what we've noticed, things that we have experienced in Texas since we've moved here.
We do actually, before we get into this, just to let you guys know, we have 2 other things to know before moving to Texas videos. So if you're looking for something, we don't mention it in this video, it might be in one of the other 2. So we'll leave those videos in the description box if you guys want to go and watch them after this video. But I think we should just get right into the video and
share with you some other stuff we know about things to know before moving to Texas.
All right, so the first thing that we have on our list is school zones. So I think you should explain this one, babe.
Well, like coming from Minnesota, so if you come from a different state, this might be different. But I feel like in Minnesota, school zones are not enforced like they should be. Unless there's like an actual person out there like, holding the flag, or like, there's some kids with a stop sign or something like that.
Like a patrol, a school patrol.
I
was one of those.
And even that's different because in Texas, right, everyone slows down to this 20-mile-per-hour speed limit. Because, there's usually a cop waiting there. They have cops patrolled there. They have cops doing some of the crosswalks. I've never seen that before.
We actually just discovered that the past week. We were like, there's cops here directing the traffic out of the school. Like, it's crazy. This is serious.
But they'll do that for anything. Like if it's a busy work section, cops will be out there like patrolling and letting cars in and out. We went to the grand opening of Dutch Bros and they had a cop directing traffic. They had a few cops directing traffic. So I think they just really, they know that the roads are a little bit dangerous, so they do have cops come out there and protect the kids a little bit more. So that was something that's very different in Texas, the school zones. Like, slow down or you're going to get a ticket. Possibly, I don't know what the penalty is, but really watch out for them because you can miss them too. Yeah,
you will definitely get fined. If you see everybody slowing down, near a school, don't get mad. Just take it as a reminder that we're in a school zone, and if I'm speeding, I might get ticketed. So the next one we've got is, we've noticed since living here that the apartments and the houses are very low quality built.
We haven't fact checked what the reason behind this is, but we just know. I've lived in a house and apartment in Minnesota, and you can just tell that, and we've seen them be built. I used to work at construction sites and stuff, and it's just way more insulated, way more wood, way more material, and I think that also has to do with some regulation differences. But when you see them get built here, we've seen houses blow over because of the wind before.
And I mean, obviously with the insulation in Minnesota, the difference is that of the weather, of course. It's colder in Minnesota, so you need insulation to keep it warm. But especially during the Texas freeze here, we realized very quickly, okay, these apartments are made of nothing but literally wood and like a sheet of plywood.
Cardboard, basically.
Cardboard, literally.
Our apartment shifted because of the weather. That I can guarantee that does not happen in Minnesota. It's never happened. Like, we had to get our locks changed because of how much it shifted. So that's very interesting. So if you're wondering why, the houses are so cheap in Texas, well, there's a reason for that.
They're built from cheap materials, and they're built very quickly. We've seen apartments and houses be built within like a couple of months, and we're like, whoa, what did they build this with? Because that was quick.
Well, they're going quick. They do a good job down here constructing stuff. They just don't have to insulate as much and put as much material in it. And you notice it because I can hear people on the sidewalk.
Yeah, you can definitely like hear your neighbors.
Yeah. And I never was able to do that in Minnesota. Some of you have called us out and said, "Oh, it's apartment living." It's like, no. Because that's not the same when you're up in Minnesota, or maybe just the North in general. I don't know. But I never heard my neighbors.
Never.
I lived in an apartment next to a stairwell. Never heard the people coming in and out of the stairwell. I can hear the people coming in and out of the stairwell. We're not even on the
near the door.
And I had my room next to the stairwell too. So like, I never heard anyone. And it's just different. Yeah. But it's not the end of the world.
It's not the end of the world. We've kind of gotten used to it and expected the noise. So it's not like we're complaining. We're just pointing out,
the differences.
We're just pointing out the differences.
Okay, the next thing that you should expect when coming out here is that there's almost like too many job opportunities, and especially in Dallas, but like Houston, Austin. I mean, there are so many job opportunities that you almost don't know. There's too many good options.
Yeah, you don't know where to start.
Yeah, and it's way different than in Minnesota, where there's like a few companies like that you want to get attached to.
Exactly.
Here it's like, oh my God, like where do I begin? Because it's not just you have to go to Dallas. I mean, that's something that we didn't write in here. That's different though, is that you don't need to go to the big cities in Texas to get the big buildings, right? Like
that's totally true.
In Minnesota, right, if you want the big buildings that go into the sky, you have to go to Minneapolis or St. Paul. No, not even anywhere else, really.
Yeah.
But here, you can go to Frisco, you can go to Plano, you can go a bunch of other places.
Carrollton, every city outside of like the city of Dallas has their own city and like tall buildings and just the businessy stuff. It's actually, I really like it because it's not like, oh, we have to go all the way 30 minutes to Dallas to, get the city feel. Like you can pretty much go to any of these cities and get that.
Exactly. And that's not necessarily true in Houston and Austin and other places like that. So that's very Dallas-y. That's a Dallas thing.
I feel like Dallas is way more developed, especially compared to Austin. Like Austin,
the surrounding areas, for sure. So that's a little different. Lots of job opportunities. This one is one of the funniest ones. When you're driving in traffic.
Oh yeah.
And they always have frontage roads usually on the highways. And so this is something that we noticed when we first started coming down here actually, but we just now thought of including in this, is that Texans will just hitch on the road and go to the frontage road off the freeway.
Yeah, like cut through the grass to get to the frontage road off the freeway.
Yeah.
And once one person does it, everyone follows.
Does it. Yeah.
So.
And it's such a thing where there's like spots in the road or in the grass where people, you can see them do it. Yeah. Semis will do it, like big trucks. It's, I kind of want to do it someday just to see how it feels.
Yeah, we will.
Yeah. But that was very weird for us because that's a ticket in Minnesota.
Yeah, we're like, you can't do that. Yeah. What are you doing?
Someone did it right outside our apartment, actually. Like they realized that you couldn't cut across, so they just got on the curb and cut across on their own.
It's like, oh, okay.
Yeah, and it was like a small SUV, a mid-size SUV, and it's just hilarious to watch it.
It was so funny.
And speaking of that, we never said the moment, like people dirt bike in our back space here. And one time I was just hanging outside having my morning coffee and this dude's dirt biking, hits a jump, comes back, wants to do it again, hits it, crashes.
Yeah.
Crashes I'm just like sitting there watching like, oh my God, like do I call 911? What's going on? And he just got out of like,
Mind you, the back of our apartment is like a trail. It's not meant for like dirt biking, but we see them all the time. We're like,
a walking trail, like to walk your kids and stuff.
Yeah, so dangerous. But so he kind of just sat there in agony trying to pick up his bike, and then eventually, a few minutes later, he just drove back home. Yeah.
And when I watch these things, I'm like, is this legal? Or do people just not care? Like, I don't know. I didn't care. I thought it was cool. When he did it the first time, I was like, that was pretty sick. Like, and then he came back. I'm like, all right, round 2. And then he crashed. I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah, yikes.
So crazy.
Okay, another big thing in Texas, I'm sure you've heard of it. If you've even planned to move to Texas, if you even know of the state of Texas, you've probably heard that everyone here loves Buc-ee's. Buc-ee's is like a gas station / convenience store. And literally
It's its own world, honestly.
It is so big. It's like it's like a Target. Like you can get home decor there, souvenirs, food. It's just crazy. And the bathrooms are super nice. They're so clean. I feel like Buc-ee's has the cleanest
That's
bathrooms.
what won me over.
Yeah.
Like when traveling, if there's a Buc-ee's nearby, even
Yes.
with all the people that go in it, the bathrooms are spotless.
Yes, and they're so big. There's so many stalls, so it's not like you have to wait in a line or anything. But
Yeah.
freaking
And
love
it just seems so weird too, because they're always out in the middle of nowhere, yet they're always packed. You know, like you can almost not even find a
gas stall.
a gas thing to go to.
Yeah,
Wait, is it a gas stall?
a gas pump.
Gas pump, yeah.
That's
you
just
can't
the
even find
first word that came to my mind.
You can't find a gas pump to go to
Yeah.
almost, but there's so many of
Yeah,
them.
there's like over 100, I think.
Yeah, and you're like, this is in the middle of nowhere. Like, how is everyone just flocking to this?
Everybody loves Buc-ee's.
Yeah, I love Buc-ee's.
It's definitely an experience, and if and when you move here, you have to go. It's just part of the Texas culture.
If you're driving into Texas, I'm sure you'll pass one.
Yeah.
So this one was a little interesting because it's not so true. Because remember that cop that we saw that was like very hidden. Mm-hmm. You know, like
Couple
so.
nights ago?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is give or take some, right? But generally, it seems like cops are positioned in a place to deter crime, not necessarily like catch you in the act by trying to like hide and stuff like that. In Minnesota, it's almost like they build things for cops.
Yeah, like ditches on the highway.
Yeah, to hide in, and there's trees and stuff, and they can be more hidden. Here, it just seems like they're more open. Unless you're driving through the country. When you're driving through the country, cops will be stationed at the towns to make sure that people are actually slowing down, because you're on this highway where it's like 65, 70 for most of the way. Then you pass through a town that's like 35 miles an hour.
Yeah.
And so they'll have a cop station there just to make sure. And that's what I mean though. Like they're deterring crime by just kind of putting themselves there for you to see, to say, oh, slow down.
Right.
But in the cities, there's like hardly any cops on the highways. They really don't. They let you police yourselves almost with how fast you're going.
Yeah, I feel like, definitely on the highway. But like once you get off the highway into like, just where everybody is, it's like, okay, you're like seeing cops everywhere. But I literally like never see cops on the highway.
No.
It is the weirdest thing ever.
They're mostly posted up in the cities or just like doing something like that, or they're just busy. Like I don't even know what it is. But it's just a different feel. Because when I'm driving down here, I am never worried about being pulled over. Ever. In Minnesota, I'm always worried about being pulled over, even if I'm not doing anything wrong, because they come out of nowhere.
Yeah.
They start doing U-turns, like just to freak people out. Like the cops of Minnesota are just like you would think that'd be different. The cops in Minnesota are scarier to me than the cops of Texas. Because I know that in Texas, I got to be doing something pretty damn stupid to be getting the cops on my ass, right? Because they're generally doing other stuff.
Right.
In Minnesota, they're looking for anyone to just pull over, and like it's silly.
I know. Whenever I'm driving Minnesota, I'm always looking in my rear view, making sure, okay, there's no cops.
Yeah. Because I'm not kidding. One time I was parked and I was watching this cop. And he took like 4 or 5 U-turns just going one street over and over. And like everyone who's going that way, when a cop, maybe you felt this, a cop does a U-turn behind you, your heart's pumping. You're like, oh, was I speeding? And they just kept doing that over and over again. I'm like, what's this guy doing? Yeah, so that was very different. That's very different still. I love it. It's not what you expect. A lot of things you don't expect when you come down here. But yeah, it's like I generally feel more free from the possibility of being involved in a police thing than Minnesota. And that was a weird way to put that. That was a weird sentence. But I haven't really thought this through, guys. So.
Another thing that we noticed down here, and I'm sure it has to do with, just like a very big population, even in these small cities.
And freedom.
Small cities, but yeah, freedom.
Just say it. You'll know what I mean.
But whenever we go somewhere, and it can literally be anywhere, but generally I notice it most at like restaurants, especially on the weekends. If the parking lot is full, if there's no more parking spots, people are gonna start parking in the grass.
Yeah.
On the curbs, like literally wherever you can find and make a parking spot out of, people are gonna do it. And I feel like just with the traffic situation, when people cut, like they see one person do it and then everybody starts to do it.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like
it's like, what, are they going to ticket us all, you know?
Yeah, exactly. But hey, so that is something that I've noticed that is just like, wow.
I've seen
you
people.
Never see that in Minnesota.
No, I've seen people parked in, so like 3 cars, right, where 1 car is in the middle.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh god.
I'm like, how the heck are you gonna get out? Like, come on, y'all, gotta.
Well, someone did that to them, right? And it's just like, oh my god, like, I'd be so mad if I was that guy.
Yeah.
So mad.
Definitely.
Mm-hmm. Okay, next one. Something I noticed down here was that people are just generally friendly, and we might have mentioned this in the other video, but especially when you're out in the country and you're driving through and you're talking to people, just people are friendly, you know, and you'll spark up random conversations about stuff, just little ones even, you know, and you won't even say goodbye or whatever, but it's just like people are so used to talking to each other that it's just like you already feel like you're part of the small town that you're just driving through, you know?
It's not awkward.
Yeah, not awkward at all. Yeah, it's just very friendly stuff. And most people that you meet, you know, you'll just start talking to and like have a really good conversation. That's not with everyone. Obviously, a lot of the people here are not from Texas. A lot of Texans are awkward, you know. It's not going to be 100% that way, but generally people are pretty friendly no matter where we've gone. And we've been to pretty much every single city, and I've had this happen in every single city that we've gone to.
And we've literally gone all over Texas. Our least favorite part of Texas. I'm just kidding. But truly though, we do not necessarily enjoy driving west of Texas just because it's so boring, like on a road trip. But other than that, like it's fine, like people wise and stuff.
Yeah, if you're really in southwest Texas, right, that's going to be better because there's mountains and there's stuff like that. But yeah, driving through like up to Amarillo or something, and you know, to New Mexico, it was cool the first couple of times, but it's like Iowa almost, where it's just like, okay, it's flat. It's just farms
and windmills
and it just goes on and on and on. And you know, there's actually some sketchy weather out there that we've driven through. Yeah, that was nuts. But yeah, West Texas is just a little bit flatter. You know, all like the big cities, except for maybe El Paso, are like over in east or middle, you know, Texas or south. And yeah, driving west, it's cool for what it is, but it just it's really long.
Yeah.
Right? So you're driving like 8 hours in the same scenery, and it's just like, okay, let's get past this.
Right. So just to go off of that, Texas is freaking huge. Like I think it takes 13 hours to get from
and 11.
Yeah, it is huge. So from Dallas just to get to New Mexico, like Mitch said, is like 8 hours. Yeah. It's like we're driving through Texas for 8 hours. That feels like a whole road trip where we should be in like 2 or 3 different states already.
Yeah. It actually is its own country, you know, like, and that's why I love living here. Because I can travel within the state that I'm in to so many different things.
Yeah.
And we didn't write this out, but yeah, Texas is huge. Yes. It's really big. And like I said, when I started this point, very friendly. Like most, except on the roads. People are a different beast on the roads, but when you meet people and talk to them, they're generally friendly. So. Another thing is that it's a lot more diverse. I think we mentioned this also in one of our last videos. It's a lot more diverse than what you probably think.
Yes.
I mean, it's just very diverse. And really, no matter where we go, it's just very diverse. It's not just one race anywhere you go, right? It's a mix of people everywhere, you know?
I love it. Because then you get all different kinds of foods,
yep.
which leads us into our next point.
The last point is that the food is unbeatable.
Oh my God, it's amazing.
Yeah. especially the Mexican food, as you can imagine. But like the Tex-Mex, I mean, they literally created a type of thing.
Yeah.
But when my friend was down here for the UFC event that we showed you guys, he was just like very impressed with the food. He kept like trying to downplay it, like, or like second guess it, like, oh, is this gonna be good? Is this gonna be good? I'm like, dude, just wait, like, because it's gonna be great.
Be it.
You know. And we bought a quesadilla at like the UFC event, and he's like, oh god, this is gonna suck. I'm like, dude, I don't know. Like, those people look legit back there. Like, I think this is gonna be a good quesadilla. And he said it was the best quesadilla he's ever had. And that's at a stadium, right? Imagine if you went to like an actual place.
Right. Which y'all did.
And then we did the next morning where we got these breakfast tacos, and he's just like, oh my god. And it was connected to a gas station. Like, and you guys don't understand, in Minnesota, to get good tacos, like,
it's very rare.
You tell me. I don't know where to go to get good tacos, right? You're going to go to Chipotle, Taco Bell, or what's that other place?
El Burrito?
No, like Qdoba or something like that. It's going to be like a chain like that. Mm-hmm. You actually can't find just like really good, authentic tacos.
Unless you go like I have been to a couple places, but they're really few and far between, and they're really hidden in the cities. So you gotta like do your research. It's not like you can just go to any Mexican restaurant and like expect good tacos.
This was like 2 minutes down the road, connected to a gas station, and you could tell everyone loved it because there's so many people there, and we're like, yo, we're gonna eat here, and it was just amazing.
I wish I had those freaking tacos. The way you were describing it, I was like, oh my god.
Yeah.
I love breakfast tacos. We don't eat them enough. We need to eat them more.
But yeah, even Fuzzies down here is great. I love Fuzzies. But yeah, really, you're going to find so many good foods, no matter if you're in Houston, Austin, El Paso, Dallas, or in the country, really. The food is just spectacular.
Yes, and one more thing before we end this video. I was telling Mitch, like, when we were in Minnesota, none of the food was, like, it was like my taste buds had just kind of conformed to the way food here in Texas tastes. Like, everything was... Like, we even went to Texas Roadhouse, and it did not taste the same as it did here. It was just so different. I was so happy to get back here and just have Texas food.
Guys,
and it was just
even Chick-fil-A
is
worse. The only thing that gets better as you go north is Culver's.
Yeah, Culver's.
Yeah, because that's where it originated, I think.
In Wisconsin.
It has to have something to do with that. Culver's is the best in that one spot we always go to. And not to say Culver's isn't good down here, it's just like the quality is so much crazier.
It's different for some reason.
But then Chick-fil-A sucks up there. We don't even go to Chick-fil-A in Minnesota because it's god awful.
Boo-boo.
Yeah, it's boo-boo.
Booty.
But yeah, so really everything down here, even the Italian food, just there's so many different people here that like you're getting a mix. It's a multinational mix of all this great food, and like we've only hit the surface.
I know.
I don't even think we've scratched the surface.
We haven't. We haven't. Drop your restaurant recommendations down below.
Please. I love food.
We need to make a video of all of our favorite food places in Dallas.
Yeah.
Let us know if you want to see that, because we have a lot, from coffee to restaurants, dessert, everything, drinks, everything. So. Yeah,
coffee, we've scratched the surface.
Oh my god, yeah, we're in deep with that one.
Yeah.
But that is the video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. If you aren't already, make sure you subscribe for more Texas-related videos, vlogs. We live in Dallas, so we do daily vlogging and stuff. And give this video a thumbs up, and we will see you guys in our next video.
Peace out, guys.
Bye.